I was listening to a clip on ESPN, and they were talking about it's twofold. They were talking about the Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs game. And Stephen A. Smith was talking about Lamar Jackson, who we're going to get to in a second. As he was talking, he said something which was, but Patrick Mahomes is the greatest football player or the best football player to ever play football. And as somebody that doesn't follow the NFL that close, I was like, man, I thought it was Tom Brady. I kept on hearing Tom Brady is the greatest ever. So I got to ask you, someone who played in the NFL, who knows football at a very high level, number one, what makes Patrick Mahomes so great?
Yeah, not to parse words, there is a huge conversation, usually in the locker room, but media talks about it as well. Greatest versus best. Greatest running back all time, you probably say Emmitt Smith. I think a lot of people would say because he has the team success and the records. Best running back all time, I think most people say Barry Sanders. Like, dog, I don't care how many games they won. I don't care. I mean, Barry Sanders is the best. So we get caught up in that a lot. And I don't know what Stephen A. said exactly. But when you talk about greatest football player ever, everyone says it's Tom Brady.
Right.
But when you say best football player ever, you start saying Deion Sanders, Lawrence Taylor, you can start getting into different conversations, Barry Sanders, etc. But what doesn't bring them to the level of greatest is usually they don't have that team success. They don't have that level of achievement and accolade with team success. They have 1 ring, 2 rings, whatever, no rings. And when you think about Tom Brady, you're like, yes, 7. So it's like, he was not only one of the best players, but damn it, he got 7 of those things. Shut it down. It's a wrap. Now with Patrick Mahomes, he's on pace to rival that. Maybe even eclipse it. We don't know because Tom Brady won 4 rings in his 30s. So we don't know what Mahomes is going to do in his 30s. But what makes him so good is the intangible, tangible conversation that we have for Tom Brady. Now we're having for Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady's intangibles were so great that they made people recalculate what a football player looks like. Because before it was all measurables, all tangibles. All right, I want you to go over there and tell me how tall you are. All right, how much do you weigh? All right, take your shirt off. Ugh, you ain't got no muscles. Okay, throw it to that guy on the side who's gonna be uncovered at the combine. Oh man, how did you play at school? And then we had this conversation that that's how we draft. And then you watch Tom Brady's career, you realize that calculation was missing so many variables. You can't measure the will. You can't measure the level of grit. You can't measure his leadership. So now we're looking like, how do we measure it? And then we get somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who qualifies with the tangibles. So when he does all those physical things like Tom Brady did, you're like, okay, better than Tom Brady. I'm impressed. With Tom Brady, you were suspicious. But now you see how his team responds to him. You see how he is in clutch moments. You see how willing he is to give to his team. And then you see his intangibles too. And then you simply say this. Tom Brady's intangibles and Patrick Mahomes, comparable. But tangible in terms of physical, in terms of what you can do with the ball and arm talent and skills, not comparable. Patrick Mahomes got him beat. So now you're starting to put him in conversations with Tom Brady because he can do everything Tom Brady can do physically and mentally as close as we've seen any other player.
Wow. So it's a real comparison. Like, it's not like they're just talking for hyperbole's sake. Like, it's real. This Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady is real.
They're not doing that typical media stuff where they're just trying to get everybody watching and popcorn, cotton candy. Nah, that's real, man. Like, if you run track or any sport, track is the purest sport. It's the best sport to always use as example. The thing is, most people don't watch track. But there are 8-year-olds. I know the record books. Obi Moore, Steve Lewis, Dengane Newsome, Eric Allen. I'm flexing right now, trying to show people I know track. And most of y'all have not heard of one of those people, except they were the world record holders at their age all the way till they got older. And then there's this guy by the name of Usain Bolt who has some records, but all of a sudden he's the one that's the GOAT. But step by step, there were other guys outpacing him. So that's this conversation. Is Patrick Mahomes, because he's outpacing or step by step with Tom Brady gonna end up Usain Bolt end up Tom Brady, or is he gonna end up Dengane Newsome, Eric Allen, another guy who was fast in the beginning, and then at the end it didn't measure up to the greatest. So he's on pace to doing what Tom Brady did, if not more. But is he gonna finish the deal? Is he gonna become the Usain Bolt of football? We'll see.
We gotta wait and see.